This tutorial is going to focus on section A3.3. So at this point we have worked with GIMP to rearrange layers, and what I'm going to focus on here is how to actually create the animation of the layers. Okay, so your task is to try and organize the layers and animate them in a way that makes as much sense as possible. And then you're going to save it as an animation, add it here, and then explain why you designed the animation the way that you did. Okay, so you're watching this tutorial right now, and next you're going to try and do it on your own. So ideally, you should be working with this file that you saved on your desktop. So I'm going to switch over to my desktop very quickly, and I can see that inside my GIMP folder is the GIF that I created last, the layers practice document that I worked on last. So I'll open that up. And if you don't have this saved, you can simply download the document again from right here and open that in GIMP. All right, so here we are. And so I've got my document and all of my layers. So if I want to see the animation of the way that this is currently set up with these layers in the order, I can simply hit the / key, and that's going to pop up this search window, and I'm going to type in playback. So I'm going to get a preview of the GIMP animation. So I can double click this. It's going to open up this window. Another way to open this window is to simply go to Filters, Animation, Playback. So if I click play, the default is at 1 second per frame, and here's what we get. Or sorry, 10 frames per second. So if I want to slow this down, I can change this to a slightly lower number. And you can see that the animation slows down. And there's 12 frames. So in this case, you're going to create an animation that you think makes sense. Okay? So there's lots you can do here. You can rearrange the layers. Maybe, for instance, I want a big smiley face to be the first thing that we see on the screen. So where would I put that layer if I want it to be shown first? Well, I want to put it on the bottom, but above the background layer. So here's what I've got, and this is the one I'm working with, and I would say I want it to be right in the center, and I want it to be really big. So I've got that selected. I'm going to choose my scale tool, and now I can click and drag and make it as big as I want. Click in the center to move it in the center. I'm going to say scale to finish that operation. And maybe I also want another smiley face to sort of end the animation. So I'll choose another one. And if I want it to be the final slide or layer in the animation, where do you think I need to put it? Well, I've got to put it at the very top of my layers. So I'm going to click and drag it up. It's at the top. And I'm going to do kind of the same thing. I'm going to scale it so it's big. And I'm going to click the center to position it where I want it. Click scale. So I've got a yellow face at the beginning and a yellow face at the end. Okay. Now I'm going to pull up my animation window. So I'm going to click that / and type in playback. Enter to open it. And if I play it now, okay, I got that smiley face first. And then I've got the smiley face at the end. So at this point, this isn't very creative, but I want to challenge you to create an animation that you think makes sense. So experiment with the scale, with the order, with the positioning by using those different tools, and you're going to come up with an animation. Okay, so once you're happy with this, you're going to export as a GIF. So I'll show you how to do that. We're happy. we come up to the very top, so we see our toolbar, we say File, Export As, and it's important that we rename this, and it is renamed as a GIF file. So here I'm going to call this Animation Practice. I'm going to call it 1 because I already have a file called that. And it's really important that your file type or extension is a .gif for GIF. And again, I'm going to save it to my desktop. And I've got this folder for GIMP projects. So now it's going to go directly into that folder. I'm going to click Export. And there's a couple questions that you're... Sorry, I'm doing a video recording. Excuse me. So in this case, it's saying some of the images are slightly larger than the border of the file. So I'm just going to click Crop. And so now over here, we're going to say loop forever, so this repeats. You want to make sure that as animation is selected. And I like to slow this down. And so that means that each frame is going to be a quarter of a second or 250 milliseconds. So it's going to show 4 pictures every second. And I think that's a pretty good speed, but you can experiment with this. The lower the number, the faster it goes. The higher number, the slower it goes. I'm going to click Export. And you can see it's kind of thinking, it's saving. And now if I want to see this, I can go to my GIMP folder. And there's my file, Animation Practice. I can see a little preview. And if you don't see it, if you're using Windows, you can say right click and open with Chrome. And we can see it in our Chrome browser once it loads. Okay. So what are you going to do with this file? After you've created your design, you're going to add it to your document. Okay, in A33. All right, so I'm going to add this image, upload from computer, find the file, there it is, and it should animate. Let's see, yep, it does. And so over here, you're going to include your explanation about why you designed the animation in the way that you did. Okay, so I created this animation or animated GIF in this way because, and you can kind of explain your thinking. So, you might kind of talk about the order that you chose, why you scaled things the way you did. So I'm trying to prep you for your final assignment where you're going to create a PSA GIF for your audience. So think about the way that you're animating things. Okay. All right. So good luck with this.